Hello dear Bytecoin enthusiasts, welcome back to BytecoinGuru, your ultimate Bytecoin go-to. It is great to be back. I've been on a long vacation and I'm back, I'm ready, I'm rejuvenated, and I'm excited about what is happening in the overall crypto market. Before I start, I wanted to thank you for being part of the Bytecoin community. Like the Bytecoin team has said previously, I'm almost certain that the Bytecoin community is one of the smartest and most insightful communities there are as far as in the crypto sphere. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Bytecoin, in BytecoinGuru's opinion, is not just a regular asset. We're going to be going over this today. We're going to be going over the new news that just came out September 3rd today. A bunch of comparison between the other privacy-based cryptos in the market. We're going to be going over Guru Talk. We're going to have some technical analysis. We're going to be looking at the roadmap, and we're going to try to get into some Bytecoin-related articles. So I'm going to try to make this a weekly video for you guys, but if you have not noticed, I do not make videos often. And there is an absolute reason for that. I'm not here for the money. YouTube does not pay me for this. Literally, I do this for free. For my sake of taking notes on this extraordinary development and this digital renaissance, but also sharing knowledge with others. Do not take my word for granted. Do your research. I might know nothing, and I might just be extremely biased at the end of the day. So please make sure you do your proper research. You read full terms and conditions. BytecoinGuru does not accept anything before the full terms and conditions have been read by yours truly. But that is just my take on it. There's so many things that today, there's so many distractions, so many things that are thrown at you. We tend to not pay attention to the most important. And so without further ado, with so much to talk about, if you do like what BytecoinGuru does for the community, do like the video. It lets me know how many people are actually interested. If you comment, you not only help me, but you help others as far as seeing what true real people out there are thinking about this type of market and what their true experiences are. And yeah, and subscribe if you want to keep getting updated on everything that I'm posting. Now, like I said, I'm going to try to make this a short video, a weekly video of all of the information that you might need as far as Bytecoin is related. So, without further ado, let's get straight to it. News and updates. I have a couple. There was a updated guide on buying Bytecoin posted by the Bytecoin team. Everything is on their blog. We can take a look so you guys have a better idea. But like I said, with each exchange, make sure you read the terms and conditions. You understand what the risks are of having your hard-earned money on a public exchange. If you're not hip, you should definitely get hip to how many exchanges have gotten hacked in the previous years and how many millions and billions of dollars were lost. So make sure you know exactly what you're doing. Here it's gonna show you which websites such as HitBTC, Stex, Cryptonator, Crex24, CoinDeal, BitXBook, CoinSpot. There's a bunch that I have not looked into. Many of these I have not used, and there's some on here that I would, if my best friend comes up to me and says, should I use this, I would steer clear from those. But I will let you do your own research and come to the conclusion on which ones you should and you should not use. BytecoinGuru is not here to recommend anything at all. It's to shed light on certain things. So I'm shedding light on the fact that there's some exchanges on this list that have been considered scam by many. So pump the brakes. Do not only go for price. This is not what this is about. This is about a digital renaissance. This is about who is going to have some and who is going to have zero. With this supply and demand, things are going crazy and should be recognized. So make sure you take a look, depending on what kind of fiat. I don't know if people know what the word fiat means, but you should look that up. What fiat currencies are using, so you know where to trade it. My 2 cents on this whole a centralized exchange conversation. My 2 cents is literally 2 words, and it goes: decentralized exchange. If you do not know what that is, I definitely suggest you literally quit this video and you search Google to see what decentralized exchanges have the potential of doing. So be very careful with any exchanges. Make sure you do your proper research. Understand that you do not own the private keys to your cryptocurrency if they are on a exchange. Make sure everything is properly placed. You do your research so nobody loses. Because it's off of a tangent, but do you have any idea? I talk to hundreds of people a day, and it is amazing to me how many of those people, what percentage of those people does not want to invest into digital assets because they are afraid they're going to lose all of their money. If I tell you that $100 invested into Bitcoin in 2009 would have yielded you on May 8th, 2018, $200 million, and you're sitting here looking at me telling me that you lose money in this market, I will not take you seriously at all. The only way that you do lose money is if you sell what you bought at a price lower than what you bought it for, which to me sounds like user error. So pump the brakes before you dismiss any digital asset or a market altogether, just because a few individuals have lost money. So that is my 2 cents on. I'm not gonna read this whole article. There's much more important news to cover. But if you're interested on how to purchase Bytecoin with any of those fiat currencies, take a look at Bytecoin's official blog on that type of thing, and you'll get some information. Again, take that information, research it, and then proceed. Please get informed. Okay? So, what's next thing? The very next thing is the news that came out today. Bytecoin 0 beta release. So let's take a look and see what that is about. I'm gonna read to you the whole article because it is brand new information. So, Bytecoin 0 public beta release. The Bytecoin team is proud to present Bytecoin 0, a browser wallet for the Bytecoin platform. This software allows users to open their Bytecoin wallets and transfer BCN straight in the browser without requiring desktop class software. It is unique in that it bridges two technological aspects previously thought incompatible: the convenience of browser-side applications and the security of running a native desktop app. In this article, we will look into why such technology is necessary, how it works, and how users can benefit from it. So up until recently, probably up until today, BytecoinGuru's only consideration for storage of digital assets was a desktop wallet. Why? Because it sounded like it was the most secure. You own the private keys, you have backed it up. Anywhere you go, you just have to open it back up, reload everything, and you're set. It is yours, doesn't matter where you go. So usually desktop wallets are the way to go as opposed to online related. But up until today, things are changing. Bytecoin is rewriting history. So the origin of Bytecoin. Envisioned as the means of anonymous value exchange. Bytecoin started off with a structure similar to Bitcoin, which is made up of several technologies beautifully tied together. You have the ledger, that is basically a database of who owns what. So if people tell you that they do not see Bitcoin, yes, you will not be able to go into every person's computer to take a look at the ledger file, but the ledger is the physical Bitcoin that is backed up throughout all of the computers that are running a Bitcoin node. So when people say that it's only on the internet, not really, because you do need hard drive space for it. A network of nodes that keeps a copy of the ledger and shares it via peer-to-peer protocol. So you have the people running the nodes, people that need to have physical storage of that Bitcoin transaction. And also a cryptographic proof of work algorithm that allows nodes to decide who can update the ledger and secure it from illegitimate modification. Bitcoin has changed the way we see value exchange and gave birth to a whole new different industry. However, such a design has one major flaw. The information in the ledger is available in plain sight for everyone to examine. Bitcoin does not store personally identifiable information per se, but if anyone were to identify that a certain address belonged to you, they would be able to trace all value movements to and from your address and potentially calculate the volume of your assets. And also tie your digital identity to whatever those addresses were. And should the same thing happen to them, that's why you have such a big industry now for blockchain analysis. That's a different topic. Trying to make up for this shortcoming was the motivation behind Bytecoin, to create a fully anonymous blockchain value exchange system. Bytecoin achieved this by employing an assortment of cryptographic technologies to conceal the information in the ledger and the origin of the coins in a transaction. At some point, it required unconventional approaches, like using elliptic curve ring signatures to obscure the coin that is being sent, that is being spent. As a result, with Bytecoin, all users still keep a copy of the ledger, but can only decrypt the transactions that belong to them. Is that too much to ask for? No, in fact, that makes perfect sense to me. In addition to security-related differences, Bytecoin improved upon other aspects of using a cryptocurrency when compared to Bitcoin. For instance, the difficulty parameter, which describes how much computational effort one has to make to mine a block, is recalculated every block, compared to the 2 weeks it takes with Bitcoin. This allows for fast adaptation to a changing network hash rate. Desktop limitations. While such a technological model is secure, it puts some requirements on using Bytecoin. In order to take full advantage of the Bytecoin security, a user has to run a node, which is to have a complete copy of the blockchain, which at the time of writing this article is around 30 gigabytes, and run the native desktop software. Such a setup is not the most convenient, but it allows for completely decentralized and anonymous value exchange, a limited commodity in the modern world. I will repeat the last sentence. Such a setup is not the most convenient, but it allows for completely decentralized and anonymous value exchange, a limited commodity in the modern world. So, is the most convenient thing? the best? And is the best thing the most convenient? Not necessarily. But it is worth noting. And I'm glad that such a point was brought up. It is worth mentioning that there is a workaround to the first requirement. A user has the option to connect to a remote Bytecoin node that they trust. Such an option allows users to request blocks from a remote machine instead of a local copy of the blockchain, potentially saving storage space. In such a setup, the remote node is responsible for checking the correctness and legitimacy of the newly mined blocks, and the connecting node just requests the block to find the funds that belong to the connecting node owner. So the same thing that people used to do when they were running a light Bytecoin wallet and they wanted to access the Bytecoin ledger but not have to download the full thing on their computer, they just use the remote Bytecoin node. So in a way, that is exactly what is kind of happening with the web wallet. Web wallets and centralized trust. Web wallets were a logical step in the development of cryptocurrencies. Their appearance was a result of the ongoing effort to make cryptocurrencies more convenient to use. While the advantages of using a cryptocurrency in a browser are obvious, the technical structure of such platforms is not always so. It is crucial to understand how a system functions in order to be confident in its safety. Most cryptocurrency web wallets in use today are so-called hosted wallets. In such wallets, a user's private keys, the most crucial info that can be used to view or spend users' assets, are stored on a web wallet's servers. It goes without saying that by using such services, a user has to agree to take the following risks. First, the organization behind the hosted web wallet has full access to the user's keys and consequently to their assets in the web wallet. So that's why BytecoinGuru is absolutely against web wallets. In addition to the previous point, the user themselves might not always have access to their keys. That is scary. The user has to trust the wallet's operation is secure and protected from external breaches. Most people trusted the exchanges like Mt. Gox back in the day, and things still happened. The user has no way of verifying the behavior of software that makes up the web wallet, even if it's open source. So, in other words, web wallets are similar to internet banking services, with one major difference. The legal landscape behind cryptocurrencies is not well formed yet, and differs from the jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Even if the organization behind the web wallet is a registered legal entity and the web wallet has a corresponding digital domain certificate, there is no certainty that a user will be legally protected should a conflict arise. Of course, the aforementioned information should not discourage users from using web wallets. Again, it is up to you. First of all, if a user is comfortable with such a security model, there should be nothing stopping them from using web wallets. People have different reasons for using cryptocurrencies, and their security needs vary as well. Very good point. Secondly, there are several well-established names in the web wallet market, and there are reasons to believe they would be interested in keeping their names clean. Unfortunately, some get so big that they don't care about one or two users getting their funds something mismanaged or whatnot. So maybe they'll let something slide in between the cracks. What is important is that a user should be aware of the risks inherent to the security model of the product they use. Boom, roasted. So, for all the ones that have invested into scams and they have lost a ton of money. You know what? Maybe proper research was not done. Maybe you didn't read the terms and conditions that says that maybe an account can be seized at any point that they decide to do so, and your funds are gone should they not be backed up or whatnot. Hey, you live and you learn. We just want to learn. We want to learn from other people's mistakes. So, mobile apps. Of course, one cannot go on without mentioning mobile apps as a prospective domain for the cryptocurrency software. They indeed have multiple advantages when compared to web wallets. First, dedicated isolated storage space in the phone's memory. And be careful, you might lose your phone. Rapidly increasing performance of smartphones. True, things might get faster. And presence in users' attention spectrum. However, mobile wallet apps are not far away in terms of security from hosted web wallets. As it is with web wallets, mobile apps are centralized technology. For instance, there is no secure way of running a custom-built app on iOS devices. An app can only be distributed via Apple's App Store, and that brings the following limitations. An app has to be verified and approved by the App Store's vendor. Typically, this is a good practice. However, the status of cryptocurrencies on these platforms is not firm, so it may be difficult to publish or push an update to a crypto-related mobile app. Consequently, an app can be suspended at any point in time by the App Store's vendor. Third, by using the App Store, a user essentially trusts a third party. There's no way to verify an app's source code or any facts of its modification. And last, and more importantly, the App Store's vendor is subject to local legal prosecution. If any conflict should arise involving government, the App Store vendor would be obliged to comply. This case is of specific importance to anonymous egalitarian cryptocurrencies. Of course, it is crucial to mention that the same security principle can be applied to mobile apps. If a user fully understands the security model of the service provided, it is up to them to decide whether to use it or not. Again, it is solely up to you, my friends. Do your research and decide what is best for the situation that you have and the things that you're ultimately trying to do with your monetary energy. And introducing Bytecoin Zero. We at Bytecoin have observed these limitations and wanted to push the envelope further in that regard. We wanted to design a product that combines the convenience of web apps and the security of native desktop software. So, setting the precedent once again. Today, we present Bytecoin Zero, an end-to-end secure Bytecoin wallet. This wallet allows users to safely receive and send money from their Amethyst wallet file right in the browser. Bytecoin Zero's main advantage is safety, and it stems from its technical implementation. Basically, it is made up of safe and tested Bytecoin desktop code that has been compiled to run in the browser. In addition to porting Bytecoin's core functionality to the browser, the Bytecoin developers have found a way to allow users to verify the safety and origin of Bytecoin Zero's build right in the browser. We will describe this novel and unconventional approach in a later article. Structure and safety. From a technical standpoint, Bytecoin Zero is a Bytecoin software that has been compiled in WebAssembly and embedded in a web app. WebAssembly is an open technological standard that defines a portable binary code format for executable programs. So Bytecoin Zero's functioning can be better explained with a picture. So here you have your local storage. You have the Bytecoin Zero webpage. Within the Bytecoin WebAssembly software is located, which communicates with the remote Bytecoin node, and which in turn communicates with the local storage, which is important because that's where you want sensitive information to be stored, not on somebody else's server, which is insane. Bytecoin Zero runs on a dedicated web page in the browser. In order to function, it utilizes two external components. First is the browser's local storage, an isolated storage space that a page can request from a browser. Unlike a browser's cache, local storage is not flushed when a page is force reloaded. Bytecoin Zero uses it to store its database in wallet cache. Second, it contains of the remote Bytecoin node. Bytecoin Zero uses it to request the blockchain data just like Bytecoin Desktop would when configured to use a remote node. All information is passed via JSON RPC API. Thanks to the remote node, there is no need to keep a local copy of the blockchain. It is crucial to point out that while such a setup is lightweight and does not require installing any software, no user's private info is sent to the node. The operation is completely independent. While the remote Bytecoin node is responsible for storing the blockchain and checking the correctness and legitimacy of newly mined blocks, Bytecoin Zero requests the blocks from the node and locally searches them for user funds. Design considerations. We have designed Bytecoin Zero with several key concepts in mind. First is zero trust operation. The user does not need to trust their private keys to a third party. All cryptographic operations are made browser side. This is very, very important. Mobile first approach. With so many platforms going mobile, Bytecoin Zero is designed to work on mobile devices first. It can be used to its full extent in a browser on a mobile phone. Also, adaptability. We're investigating the possibility of integrating Bytecoin Zero into the Interplanetary File System, IPFS, to provide a way to verify the safety and integrity of Bytecoin Zero builds when running them. And lastly, we see Bytecoin Zero as a breakthrough step for Bytecoin technology. It combines ease of use with comprehensive security, which is unthought of before. In the next article, we're looking forward to describing Bytecoin Zero's interface and some specific beta testing nuances. Feel free to share your feedback in an issue in our corresponding GitHub repository. My dear friends, we have gone over the whole article of these awesome news coming from the Bytecoin team. It is still not finished, so they're going to be releasing another one, which BytecoinGuru will definitely be going over. I want to know your thoughts on Bytecoin Zero and whether or not you see that as a possible alternative to the very secure desktop wallet. Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to start a conversation because that's what thinking people need to do, is contribute to their society by asking questions and providing viewpoints. Okay, so we'll love to hear what you guys have to say about this awesome news. And last but not least, I figured I log into the wallet just so we can take a look at what the setup is of the wallet so far. So when you first log in, it's going to ask you for your mnemonic. You're going to type it in, you're going to click OK, and you're going to wait for it to sync. So once it's all loaded, this is exactly what you get. As it says on the bottom, unstable development version for testing only. do keep that in mind, and wait for the team to come out with the ultimate final version. But for now, take a look and get yourself familiarized. Receive, you click on it, bam, here it's going to tell you your address. You're going to click and you're going to be able to add more addresses should you decide to do so. You go to send, you type in your address and you type in the Bytecoin that you want to send. Simple enough. And here in the settings, you can export the mnemonic that you have. You can print it or save it as a PDF. And of course, close wallet, okay. And you can even prevent the device from sleeping during synchronization. Very awesome, very simple, but that is exactly what you want. You want it to be easy and simple, so you don't have nothing to worry about. So far so good, my friends. This is it for Bytecoin Zero. So now that we're actually 30 minutes deep, I'm gonna cut this short. I'm gonna dedicate this video specifically to going over the Bytecoin Zero, and in the next video we're gonna be going over all of the rest of the stuff, technical analysis and market comparison. Catch you in the next one. Bye bye.